don't design it if you are not signaling to both yourself and your team that this is a long-term journey. You're rewarding them for sticking around for a very long term. It unfortunately, market drives some of these practices, if you ask me. But in a very idealistic manner, I would actually like longer term cliffs and vesting periods and deferring them. I don't think there's any, it's not like the whole idea, for example, of having 4-year vesting, but like on a monthly basis, just to me, for example, sounds ridiculous, right? That I'll come to that. I think, it's inevitable that we will reach that point in the conversation, but essentially that is a proxy for a bonus payment deferred. When you come up with a mechanism which is around measuring time spent. So there is, I think, there is a reward for, I actually borrow some of these from Mithul and Ashish, who are my sort of partners in crime when they advise companies on how to think about it, both at inception when we are negotiating with them and post facto when they're negotiating with Series A or B. And I think the right phrase that Mithul gave me once was attract, retain, reward, right? So attract is basically you are competing for market talent. So you have to be able to show, a dream of them having, a better proxy for wealth creation over and above their passion for what you're building. All right. Retain is, obviously this is that mindset of a monthly, quarterly sort of vesting. And reward is essentially, nobody said that on day one you have to decide that person's life in ESOPs. You can actually recalibrate every year if you want to, right? And so we ask founders to think dynamically, but typically founders, I find founder mindsets are unfortunately fixed. You have to train them to get out. Some of them feel like, oh, it's my business. I'm already diluted. I want all the ownership, and they hold it very closely. And other founders are very cognizant of the fact that they need to, give and grant to build a great company. And their rewards will come on the back of everybody else also contributing. So long-term orientation, what parts of the policy and what part of the reward is being used for what elements to retain, attract, or reward the talent is important for the founder to think through. And then I think it's not well communicated in a lot of places. So like one assumes that every team member, employee that you get fundamentally knows what the ESOP is valued at, what it's worth, how to exercise, what are the tax implications. So the other thing we try to say is please communicate these as early and as clearly, right? Even we are guilty originally of that. Like when we thought about carry structures across the firm, I think we got complaints that it was not communicated very well. So I think these are not easy to understand and grasp. So, I think communication is important and clarity is important. And similarly, like strike price, why you giving a certain strike price versus a discount to a strike price. All these are important for if you're truly making them stakeholders for everybody to understand and have a common understanding. And then the last thing is, I think also expectation of when they will actually see liquidity out of it, right? So I would want the founder to be prepared and think through in advance of when that is likely, rather than making either false promises of it happening too early and then it leads to disappointment and dissonance, or postponing it too much because that defeats the purpose of having them, and you have an entire generation of employees who might have churned and nobody sees liquidity, and everyone's belief becomes that this is nice on paper but we really don't make any money, right? And so there's a balance there, and so these are what I would encourage all founders to think through.